Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to the Clone Crater. I've been recording just because I've been watching this system fail miserably. Anyway, let's see. Let's just go over some of the more basic stuff. I got a whole filtration system put in to start cleaning out that bottom section. So we've got petroleum going into the petroleum, crude oil going to the crude oil, salt water, everything else kind of comes over here. Oh god, the pipe spaghetti on this map is just incredible. Just amazing. My water level's starting getting low, so I'm redirecting some water around, trying to get that cleaned up. Pumping this side over. Finally getting some bleach stone created and puff princes, and should be a squeaky puff in there, but it probably died. But let's face it, what we're all here to look at is this unbelievable monstrosity of failure. I mean, it's not complete failure, but I have a feeling it's about to explode. So I figured I might as well record now before it all just self-destructs. This has just been an absolute joy of watching my computer try to chunk. So let's just zoom in and enjoy this. The amount of various phase changes that are going on right here. We have sour gas coming from these aquatuners, which is then running through the steam room to get some of the heat out of it to come over here and condense. We have 3 different aquatuners to help keep this cooled down because it took forever to get down to frozen hydrogen. The liquid oxygen side is actually working, but I think I should have put the pump up 1 so it wasn't sucking in supercoolant. And switch over to liquid. So this, whenever the oxygen melts, it pushes the supercoolant out of the way, which I was hoping that it wouldn't, but that's now causing pressure damage over here, which is why I think this is all about to explode. The methane gets dumped in, and then I put in a recirculating in order to help it vaporize. So that part of it is actually working. In fact, it's probably enough of it that I can do this and use it to feed the other tank. These are getting too cold, so they're not cooling, so they're not producing heat, so they're not producing sour gas. It's just a mess. Automation-wise, hopefully your heads just didn't explode. But automation-wise, it's actually working. So we have a hydro sensor that says if there's too much water, turn off the conveyor loader. And if there's too much weight on this pressure plate from the solid whatever. So over here we have a bunch of solid hydrogen. It's telling the conveyor loader to not put any more over. So that part is working. But yeah, this pressure damage means that I'm going to run into some issues. These fans have been working, so these pumps have been sucking any gas that happens to evaporate, puts it back over into the cooling side, and just look at that. My computer is definitely having fun trying to figure out what each square is doing. We've got, I wish we could do liquid and solid. So we got stuff turning into liquids, turning into solids, turning into gases. Just, oh, what a disaster. And these are now overheating because there's not enough gas pressure because I didn't put in an atmos sensor. Yeah, just failure. All right, let's turn off most of these gas pumps. So I think the question has been answered. Can you freeze everything and sort it out? And the answer is yes, you can. This tepidizer is doing a good job of keeping this just at the melting point. So 259, and this is set now price at that's like 258.5. So this hydrogen cools down the supercoolant, helps the methane fill in here, which then keeps it all in a liquid. I have not tried recirculating this. I'd probably have to do it all with straight insulated pipes, or the pipes are going to break. Would I recommend anybody building this? I mean, if you want to try, probably where I screwed up is I didn't do enough counterflow to pre-cool things. So if you look at the temperature overlay, this is actually relatively warm at negative 100, negative 70. So I think I needed more of a counterflow for the gases coming in and the sour gas to help keep this cool, and then I probably wouldn't need 3 aqua tuners. Maybe that would make it more stable. I'm trying to think if there was a better way of doing this bit. Because you'd still get pressure damage even if I double walled it, because the pressure is this liquid not being able to push any of the other liquid out of the way. So I guess the better way of doing that would be make this wider and put that in the middle. Like put that over another block. And then all of these are just gold amalgam, and they are self-cooling from their own polluted water. And then all that polluted water pours down the map, falls over here. This map is a mess. Just an absolute mess here. Let's dig that stuff up. Oh good, you're active again. So I should be good on water. I should be getting... Yeah, I'm getting 10 kilos in, and I should be pumping out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my water level should be going up. Base-wise, the base finally came down in temperature and all looks nice and happy and green. This down here is a mess of everything. So yeah, that is where we're at. Food-wise, we are absolutely killing it. We're up to 2 million calories of frost burgers and 1 million calories in lettuce. I didn't really do the math on the lettuce farm, so I'll probably set this to disable harvest. Because obviously we don't need the dupes to do it. We've got more than enough. Hell, I've got 500,000 calories of frost buns. See, that is still, yep. So I put in the infinite storage for the food, and then the lettuce and the sleet wheat just dumps over here. So dupes can grab it from the ladder. Rocket-wise, the rockets are working quite well. Now that I got rid of the oxalate system, we got 3 cargo rockets going. I'll probably put this back up to speed. My computer's mostly handling it, but once I get to the saves, it just complains. But, I mean, the overlay of this bouncing around. See, I want you to get up to temperature. Oh yeah, at one point I thought I had to combine these. I don't think I want to. And then they are governed by this automation wire here that tells them to turn on and turn off. I'll probably set this up 1. Because it's already at the liquid is too cold. And then this one runs up here to kind of help keep the gases chilled. Who's coming back? Oh, more cargo. Alright, so why is there no petroleum in here for you? Because you're not running, so yeah, these really needed an ammo sensor. Wait. too hard to get in there. So that's where we're at. More likely I'm going to be deconstructing this. I'll probably leave the methane thing in here because it's grabbing frozen methane from space and using that to generate natural gas for me. This just makes sure I always have a couple of tanks, but this ended up with 200 kilograms of natural gas, so that's doing okay. It was doing better until this kind of broke down. So you're almost doing it. Yeah, see, you got oxygen again. Ooh, this hydrogen melted. And no, it just pushed the supercoolant out of the way. If there's a pressure gas mod. Because for a while this was getting up over 20 kilos and now it's not. Okay, so now we have sour gas again. Yeah, like I said, this is what I've been doing for the last however many cycles of trying to make this work. Actually, let's switch to just one pump. Because 1 kilo of sour gas should be enough to run all of these generators. And I want the pressure in here to stay up a bit so that the petroleum won't boil. Building broken. Gas pipe. How did I get ice there? Don't know. Oh, let's switch this over to insulated. As I think when I dumped this down there, it just turned into a big block of ice. And I actually turned off this pump at the bottom just because I was getting such a pool of randomness that I figured pumping from the top of it was better and then sort it out. And yeah, the 3 crude oil tanks are full. Where are we magma-wise? Yeah, that is combined. Temperature in here is holding at about 220. I would like to dig down to see what's in this one spot that's left. Let's just do that. Screw it. And there's the save. Let's come straight down this path of igneous rock. I mean, it might make the steam a bit hotter, but that's not too big of a deal. This has just been a mess of liquids and everything else. Oh, you went dormant again. That's okay. Chlorine's all the way down to here. You're pumping out the various liquids. Idle dupes. Oh, you are done digging, so I can turn you back off. I found that if I actually let that get cold enough to go off, then this whole thing breaks anyway. I should set that to like 1050. All right, how's my water level? It's still going down? Oh, I guess I don't quite have a full 10 kilos going in constantly. That rocket's back. I find pumping 5 kilos of oxygen a second is nice, but I'd rather have 10. I mean, technically it works, but oof. Just surprised it hasn't exploded. I expected when I started recording that's exactly what was going to happen. Come on, somebody wants to dig this. Guess they can only do one block at a time. And then they get called away for something else. It's starting to cool down this magma over here. This whole magma channel. That's still dormant? Wow. Okay, that water geyser is about to go off. That'll give me more water. Oh, and this is still boiling. So I cracked this open for doing the steam turbine, figuring eventually it would cool down, but there's a piece of 1200 degree abyssalite here that is just constantly boiling this. Even though there's a cool slush geyser in a former cold biome, that one piece of abyssalite oh, that's why. I thought that was abyssalite. Never mind. Let's do that. So there is a piece of obsidian that it's running into. So I am slowly cooling down this magma channel through one block. All right. Well, let's just dig all that down. Not that I have any use for any of that, but it's fine to go over there every once in a while and see what it's doing. Okay, so now we're getting more methane in over here. How's that for melting? I mean, even with a temp shift plate, supercoolant, and a teppidizer. No, there's more pressure damage. It's still not changing the temperature of that hydrogen very fast. There's no good way for me to get there to fix that. Oh, another rocket's back. And of course it's during a meteor shower. Yep, that's all super hot abyssalite. Who cares? Yeah. An area of the map I don't care about at all. This cool slush geyser is just... This map is such a mess. I love it. How much natural gas do we have in there? 300 kilograms, so that's good. Yeah, and you are now pumping in extra. Yeah, so anything that doesn't get sucked up by this, there's what, 190 grams left when they're running. Fills up these tanks in case this ever empties and the rest of it gets pumped down. Alright, and these aren't, okay, they are still complaining about coldness, but not too much. But this is back to being a vacuum. So you're 570, but why aren't you cooking off this petroleum? Because there's no atmosphere. Yeah, we'll grab some of those. Pump in some petroleum to get some atmosphere, which then cools it down too much. Like I said, don't build this. As a technical experiment, yeah, it kind of works, but oof. I mean, maybe there's a better way. I'm surprised it's working as well as it did for the first try. Ooh, that's a big biome. Well, let's just come all the way down. I mean, whatever steam comes down here and gets superheated is not that big of a deal. Oh, and all this coal turned into refined carbon. How's this oil biome? Well, that's not too bad. It's only 100 degrees in there. Up here is 400. So this abyssalite must go across there. Is that hydrogen? No, phosphorus. I mean, it's not 1,000 degrees, so I don't think there's broken abyssalite on this side. What does the steam look like coming out of there? Yeah, only 260. And this pump has actually kept up with this volcano. I mean, it's dormant now, but every time it goes off, this pump just slowly sucked up the magma. That was impressive. All right, I just want to give you guys a big overlay before we're done. This is what this map looks like. So, mineral, a mess. Mineral. All right, so there's still some fossil over here I can deal with. Zoom below, all kinds of fun stuff. Lots of slime. Gas overlay. Nice oxygen. Nice chlorine. I mean, it's not too bad when you look at it from far away. And let's look at all that magma. I actually don't know what's over there. Okay. Oh, because that's on the other side of the suit docks and surrounded by magma, so I just never bothered. Anyway, I think I'm going to get rid of this. Technically, yeah, that works. There was a lot of effort and a lot of futzing and a mess, but hopefully someone else gives it a try and comes up with a better way of doing it. Anyway, it's always fun to try new things in this game, even when they don't work. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all are having a wonderful day.